Chapter 7, Location, Location, Location. Location, noun, real estate term that refers to the position of a piece of real estate as it relates to the value of that real estate. Evan was in trouble. So far, he'd earned $47.11, which was more money than he'd ever had in his whole life. But today was Friday. There were only 3 days left, 3 days to beat Jesse. He needed to earn almost $53 to win the bet, and that meant each day he had to earn. Evan tried to do the math in his head. 53 divided by 3, 53 divided by 3. His brain spun like a top. He didn't know where to begin. He went to his desk, pulled out a piece of paper, his basketball schedule from last winter, and flipped it over to the back. He found the stub of a pencil in his bottom desk drawer, and on the paper he wrote 53 divided by 3. He stared and stared at the equation on the page. The number 53 was just too big. He didn't know how to do it. Jesse would know how, he muttered, scribbling hard on the page. Jesse could do long division. Jesse had her multiplication facts memorized all the way up to 14 times 14. Jesse would look at a problem like this and just do it in her head. Snap. Evan felt his mouth getting tight, his fingers gripping the pencil too hard, and he scribbled a dark storm cloud on the page. His math papers from school were always covered in X's. Nobody else got as many X's as he did. Nobody. Draw a picture, Mrs. DeFazio's voice floated in his head. She had always reminded him to draw a picture when he couldn't figure out how to start a math problem. A picture of what? He asked in his head. Anything, came the answer. Anything? Yes, anything, as long as there are 53 of them. Dollar signs. Evan decided to draw dollar signs. He started to draw 3 rows of dollar signs. 1, 2, 3, he counted as he drew. 4, 5, 6, he drew. By the time he reached 53, his page looked like this. There were $17 signs in each row, and there were those 2 extra dollar signs left over. Evan drew a ring around those 2 extras. $17 signs and 2 left over. Evan stared at the picture for a long time. He wrote Friday next to the first row, Saturday next to the second row, and Sunday next to the third row. Evan looked at the picture. It started to make sense. He needed to make $17 on Friday, $17 on Saturday, and $17 on Sunday. And somewhere over the 3 days, he needed to make 2 extra bucks in order to earn $53 by Sunday evening. Evan felt his heart jump in his chest. He had done it. He had figured out 53 divided by 3. That was a 4th grade problem. That was 4th grade math, and he hadn't even started 4th grade, and no one had helped him. Not Mom, not Grandma, not Jesse. He'd done it all by himself. It was like shooting the winning basket in double overtime. He hadn't felt this good since the lemonade war had begun. But $17 a day? How was he going to do that? Yesterday he made $45. But that wasn't because he'd had help, and free supplies from his friends. They weren't going to want to run a lemonade stand every day, especially on the last days of summer vacation. He needed a plan, something that would guarantee good sales. The weather was holding out, that was for sure. It was going to hit 95 degrees today, a real scorcher. People would be thirsty, all right. Evan closed his eyes and imagined a crowd of thirsty people, all waving dollar bills at him. Now, where was he going to find a lot of thirsty people with money to spend? An idea popped into Evan's head. Yep, it was perfect. He just needed to find something with wheels to get him there. It took Evan half an hour to drag his loaded wagon to the town center, a distance he usually traveled in less than 5 minutes by bike. But once he was there, he knew it was worth it. It was lunchtime, and the shaded benches on the town green were filled with people sprawling in the heat. Workers from the nearby stores on their half-hour lunch breaks, moms out with their kids, old people who didn't want to be cooped up in their houses all day, high school kids on skateboards slooshed by. Preschoolers climbed on the life-size sculpture of a circle of children playing Ring Around the Rosie. Dogs lay under trees, their tongues hanging out. Pant, pant, pant. Evan surveyed the scene and picked his spot. Right in the center of the green where all the paths met. Anyone walking across the green would have to pass a stand, and who could resist lemonade on a day as hot as this? But first he wheeled his wagon off to the side, packing it halfway under a huge rhododendron. Then he crossed the street and walked into the Big Dipper. The frozen air felt good on his skin. It was like getting dunked in a vat of just melted ice cream, and the smells, a mix of vanilla, chocolate, coconut, caramel, and bubblegum. He looked at the tubs of ice cream, all in a row carefully, protected behind a pane of glass. The money in his pocket tingled. He had plenty left over after buying 5 cans of lemonade mix with his earnings from yesterday. What would it hurt to buy just 1 cone or a milkshake or maybe both? Can I help you? Asked the woman behind the counter.